Good morning, everybody. So it's about 6:15 in the morning now, and I've woken up like an hour ago or so, and I've had a really good morning so far. I've done 60 push-ups, so I'm sort of back to like where my fitness levels were when I was in a couple of years ago, I think. And yeah, it's good. And that's one of the better reasons to work on a farm, by the way. It does get you in shape. It's really good for your health and fitness. So yeah, that's one of the reasons I do that. What have I been doing this morning? Other than useful things like exercise, I've been arguing with people online about Noah's Ark. And in terms of Bible stories, this is one of the ones which is considered to be more ridiculous. I think it's considered like highly implausible or impossible by most people that a guy and his family in that part of the world could have built a 300 cubit vessel and stocked it with two of every animal. It seems, yeah, like a ridiculous, stupid story. But so the location of the Great Flood was in the Tigris and Euphrates basin in what is now modern day Iraq, and sort of around this general region of what turned into Mesopotamia and what was at one point the location of Sumerian civilization. And we're aware from the well, um, we're aware of sea level rises occurring, dramatic sea level rises occurring at the end of the last ice age, and yeah, huge amounts of flooding back then. And also, I tend to say, like, what is the really the issue with it? Is it the animals, or is it the size of the vessel, or is it the flood itself? I don't know really, because I mean, humans built the Great Pyramids 2,500 years before Christ, so 4,500 years ago. I was just going to say, like, why is a 300 cubit or 510-foot vessel like out of the question? If we can build the pyramids, like if you build the Great Pyramids, the huge stones all arranged perfectly, and you can't fit a razor blade between them, and so on, and they're transported up from this place really far away, via what would seem like rolling logs and oxen and what have you. You can organise like labour to construct structures like those, like a 300 cubit vessel is like seems like it'd be easy, frankly. Then you can say, like, why don't we have more evidence from history of people building vessels this big? We actually do. And it's thought so, King Ptolemy in the Hellenistic, is it Ptolemy the Fourth, I think, in the Hellenistic period of ancient Egypt, built a 420-foot vessel. So a really big ship. But generally speaking, the ancients weren't building ships that large because most of these ships were for trade and naval warfare, and you don't want with piracy and so on, you don't want like a huge trading ship, obviously, filled with goods, right? Because if a pirate gets hold of one of those, it's like it's a huge boon to them, and it's also a huge loss to you if you're a merchant. Likewise, in naval warfare, like, we don't want to pack all your soldiers onto one ship, do you? Because then the enemy's just got to sink one ship. And also the cumbersome, it's hard to get away from the enemy if they start attacking and so on. So yeah, it seems like really you'd only build a ship like this in kind of exceptional circumstances, or it'd be, for some, it might be, yeah, an emergency thing. And that's sort of like the gathering of two of every animal. Like, really, like the animals present in the Tigris and Euphrates basin at the time. Well, I don't know at the time really, but now anyway, there's not actually all that many species in that area. Like I said, this is modern day Iraq, so there's like gazelles, I think. There's wolves. There's like badgers and various other things. So it seems like you probably wouldn't even need 300. Like, we're talking about the animals of the known world, not of, like as some commenters point out, not Australia. The ancient Egyptians didn't know about the existence of Australia, neither did the Greeks, neither did the Romans. They didn't know about the existence of the Americas either. I tend to say, like, maybe on the Ark there were sort of a few African animals, since they may have been in contact with that part of the world. Um, yeah. And it's like saying, oh, how could one guy and his family construct such a thing? Like, well, it would have been them and their slaves now, wouldn't it? Or them and their servants, who, like, so I say, like, when it comes to someone's servants and slaves, that may have just been taken for granted in the story. I got to remember this is from an ancient text. It comes out of the ancient Hebrew ultimately and is percolated down to us via many, many stages of translation and probably mistranslation. And yeah, like, and when you say like the family of Noah, do you mean like the Western nuclear family? Where if there wasn't a great flood going on, they'd be living like behind a white picket fence in suburbia. Well, no. Also, they'd been like a tribe of people. So yeah, like, given a lot of people on the Ark, along with two of every animal that they knew about. And would there have been a flood? Like, we know, like the record is clear. Yes, there would have been. There would have been a flood, certainly. It's recorded in, cultures all over the world at the time and now. There's flood mythology in loads of ancient traditions. That's just the truth. So, like, it stacks up with what we know about natural history. The geological history of the region. That there would have been meltwater from glaciers sort of pooling in this area near the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. So yeah, I think there was a flood. I don't think the story's so ridiculous, but I mean, it is details that that raise the ire of people or raise approbation of people. But no, it's not all that insane. It's not a stupid thing to think that there was a great flood. Certainly not. The guy built a boat that big. Yeah, maybe. I don't think. Yeah, I mean, this is This is more around like Sumerian and Mesopotamian civilization, isn't it? And then like even before then, you have like the proto societies or civilizations of the Natufians, so as far back as 10 or 12,000 BC. And they were doing quite advanced stuff as well for their period of history. Maybe building 300 cubit vessels even at some point as an emergency. That would have required great organisation of labour, and it would have entered an oral tradition, and people would have considered, I think, worth writing down. But we believe that people from the past are just stupid. But yet again, we have their artefacts, so that clearly isn't the truth, is it? No society capable of building pyramids like that is stupid. They're just not. Sorry.